Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
The Larry Kudlow Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So, Bret Baier, Fox News host of Special Report with Bret Baier, he's chief political anchor of Fox News. 6 New York Times bestsellers, pretty impressive. His latest, The Case for America, an argument on behalf of our nation, a thoughtful defense of our history, values, and national character in divisive times. Well, you're the best newsman in all of news, and it's so lovely to see somebody defending America, besides me. But Bret Baier, welcome back. So I could talk to you about some politics, but I want to talk to you about the book. This is a gem of a book, and people should go out and get it. When you came on the TV show, we talked about freedom. I want to talk about freedom in a minute, but I want to talk about unity. Unity, which seems so hard. You're arguing in the book that America does, in fact, choose unity. Can you tell us a wee bit about that?
Well, first of all, I would just want to say thanks to the people that bought the book already. It turned out to be a #1 New York Times bestseller this week, and that's a real honor for me, and a book about history, you know. And, unity is in our name, in United. And it goes back to the beginning and the Declaration of Independence. I think that dissent is baked in the cake. You know, we honor dissent. We really look to it to define who we are. But bringing the country together is the challenge. It takes leadership. And in the book, I have specific examples of leaders, not only the 6 presidents I wrote about, but also, current voices talking about reaching across the aisle and trying to get things done. You would think in today's day and age, we're so partisan, so divided, but we've been really dark places in our history before. And the unique American character is that the pendulum swings and we figure out how to go forward and get over some of the big divisions.
You know, Bret, they're all important points. But it's the most divided I think I've seen it, maybe since the Vietnam War, maybe.
Yeah,
because
that's true. I mean, it's just you look at social media.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like everything to do with Trump automatically spawns, the Trump derangement syndrome. And we'll get through this. We are getting through it. But it just seems awfully divided right now, awfully divided. How about...
It does. And I will say there is some, glimmer of hope up on Capitol Hill. And you and I have talked about this before. I had this thing, Common Ground, on the show. And I have a podcast called Common Ground where I bring Democrats and Republicans together to talk about what they're working on. There are more and more of those instances. There are more characters that are stepping up for specific things that they want to talk about. But, it takes leadership. It takes leadership not only on the opposition side, it takes leadership from the president, obviously, and the way he talks about things. He's a unique character. We're probably, as you know better than anybody, we're probably never going to see a politician like Donald J. Trump ever again. And for all his successes, people focus, his supporters, on the stuff he's doing, and the opposition and the people who have TDS focus on what he says and what he tweets or puts on True Social and how he talks about things as a New York real estate developer. So I agree with you. There is a huge divide. But you look back, Vietnam, you look at the race riots, you look at, go back to after the Civil War, where were it not for President Ulysses S. Grant, we would be falling back into a second Civil War at that time.
My favorite.
We almost didn't get off the starting line if George Washington is not in the Constitutional Convention. And I kind of go into that and some of the specific stories in this book, and I think that's why it's taken off. It gives people a little ammo as you get to the America 250 to say, hey, you know what? We have a pretty good place here. We got to fight for it.
Music to my ears. You said Ulysses S. Grant because you know how much I love him.
I know. I know you do.
I'm just saying. My softest spot for this book, my favorite spot for this book is the freedom and the Declaration of Independence. I mean, I just think that's it's the most important sentence in history, but it's still right. It still characterizes this country.
It really does, and it's really the most important thing that we have. If you go to any country, and I literally just landed a few hours ago from China after being there this week for the summit. I'm really happy to be home, Larry. I think that you go around the world. And then you come back home and you realize the freedoms that we have. You could pick up and move from where you are and go to another city in the middle of the country, pick up, do something totally different, and start a new life. It doesn't happen everywhere. The freedom to express ourselves. We can dissent. We can be, look at all the stuff that we see online that people are, very adamant and loud, and they can be that way. It doesn't happen everywhere. So I think the freedom part is really, really important. And as we get to this celebration of 250, I think that's the line. That's that opening line is the line that we should be focused on.
I thought so. That's, when you were on the TV show a few weeks back, I felt then, and I've gone back and read the book, and I just think that's the most wonderful part. You're on number one in the New York Times again, which is phenomenal, I might add. Congratulations. Phenomenal. But I think part of it, Bret, I'm just guessing here, people want to hear a case for America. How about that? They want to hear it, and you're giving it to them. I
think there's a hunger out there. I really do. And I travel the country, and I give speeches, and there is this hunger like, we can be better, let's figure out how to lift the country up instead of talk it down. There's a lot of talking it down. When you go on social media, some of that stuff that's generated is from other countries that's put into our bloodstream, and it gets to our young people. I think, look, you read this book, at the end of it, you feel good. It's not like I'm sanitizing America. I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not looking through rose-colored glasses. We have big problems. But we just got to remember who we are, number one, and all the good things we've got. When the King of England, when King Charles comes in, gives this speech in Congress, Democrats and Republicans standing up, giving him standing ovations, and his basic message is, congratulations on 250 of Declaration from us. Remember that you are uniquely American, optimistic, forward-leaning, and looking to the future. That's pretty amazing. The King of England telling us to be more American. And he's right.
Yes, very good. Bret Baier, you're an optimist.
I am.
You are. I think it comes through in your writings, and I think it comes through in this book, and I think it's fabulous that you're an optimist. Honestly, I want to congratulate. I know you're busy. I know you're probably exhausted from the long trip to China coming back. We appreciate your time. We'll sell some more books for you. The Case for America, folks, an argument on behalf of our nation, a thoughtful defense of our history, values, and national character in divisive times by the great Bret Baier, Fox News top newsman. Thank you, Bret. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
See you. Okay. All right, folks, we'll take a break. On the other side, we're going to have Ambassador Robert O'Brien, National Security, talk a little more about China, which does not have any of the freedoms that Bret Baier is talking about. I'm Kudlow. We'll be right back.
The Larry Kudlow Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.